Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing the brilliant Gone Girl, which, like I said, is an awesome psychological thriller movie that would put anyone off getting married. Now this is an award-winning awesome film that tells the story of how Nick Dunn becomes the prime suspect in a mystery surrounding the disappearance of his wife Amy. Now there are loads of twists and turns in this movie, and the ending of this film is so chilling that it will literally leave your jaw on the floor. Now there may well be a sequel to this movie being greenlit one day, but as far as this film goes, it is just an awesome ride from start to finish, and like I said, just takes you on one hell of a roller coaster, and you really feel so much sympathy for the characters in this movie. But enough with the intro, let's get on with the review for Gone Girl. Now the storytelling structure of this movie is absolutely brilliant, as it's got a past storyline and a present storyline, and when the two meet it is really interesting. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, in the present, on Nick and Amy's 5th year wedding anniversary, Amy goes missing and all of the clues point towards Nick being the prime suspect in a murder investigation behind the disappearance of Amy. And the reason that everyone suspects Nick is because there was a big insurance payout from the death of Amy. So not only is he being perceived to be the main suspect in this murder investigation, he is also having a very difficult time as the media are perceiving him to be a very cold sociopath that murdered his innocent wife Amy. Now in the past, you find out how Nick and Amy met each other and how apparently Nick was an abusive husband. And you also find out a little bit more about Amy's childhood and how impossible her childhood was in terms of what she has to live up to, because her parents created a brilliant massive book franchise called Amazing Amy, which was all about the perfect daughter, and whenever Amy in real life would make a fault, perfect Amazing Amy would be really successful in that. So she had a lot of childhood trauma being compared to this impossible version of her. The past storyline and the present storyline then meet, and it is literally one shocking cliffhanger moment after another. So from a storyline point of view, Gone Girl is absolutely brilliant. So from a cast and characters point of view, this movie is absolutely awesome. Like I said in the beginning, this is an award-winning movie, and you can tell because the performances from all of the cast and characters is absolutely brilliant. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, we have Ben Affleck, who plays Nick Dunn and leads the movie really well in terms of being a character that is accused of murdering his wife Amy, and all of the evidence is pointing towards this character's direction. And the narrative and the narration is from Amy's perspective, who is also pointing towards his direction. So it also questions about whether or not the narrative that's being given to you can be believable. But on top of that, you're also trying to work out what really happened in the disappearance of Amy, and whether or not it was Nick Dunn, and if it wasn't Nick Dunn, then who was it and what really happened. And also, I think that Ben Affleck was really well casted in this movie as well, as on top of all of the mystery and murder investigation type stuff, there is the media scrutiny side of this film as well. And as Ben Affleck as an actor has had a lot of invasive media and a lot of paparazzi and all of that sort of stuff to deal with in his real life, he is able to portray that through the Nick Dunn character really well. Next up, we have Rosamund Pike, who brilliantly brings the Amy Dunn character to life. She narrates the film, like I said before, and is just such a complicated character, and just really brings all of the different facets to this character to life so well. So her performance is just absolutely brilliant. So it's a really chilling performance, really uncomfortable, really suave, really calculated, and really effortless. So Rosamund Pike absolutely brilliantly brings the Amy Dunn character to life, who is just such an intriguing lead narrator for this film. Next up, we have Neil Patrick Harris, who played a character called Desi, and he was really interesting as he was one of Amy's many past ex-boyfriends, and then you also get to find out more about the Amy character through this character's narrative as well. Next up, we have Taylor Perry, who played Nick's attorney, and he represents men that he feels are innocent in very complicated situations. Next up, we have Carrie Coon, who plays Nick's twin sister, and she brought a really interesting dynamic to the Nick character, so that you can find out a lot more about him as well. And then finally we have Kim Dickens, who plays the no-nonsense lead investigator in this particular case. So from a cast and characters point of view, this movie is absolutely flawless. Such a brilliant cast, playing such brilliant, complicated characters in this movie. From a visuals point of view, this movie looks absolutely brilliant. All of the scenes look really, really cool. All of the mansions look absolutely brilliant. And the life of the rich and famous looks really, really nice. It feels like they have an Instagram filter on for all of those scenes, which are really, really cool. The media aspect of this film looks really, really nice as well, as you can really feel how invasive and how intrusive the media are. They're depicted in a really real way, which just really brings to life all of the craziness that the Nick Dunn character has to experience because the media are so invasive in this movie. And like I said before, all of the past and present narrative styles throughout the movie comes together really, really nicely, and you can really follow what's happening in the past and what's happening in the present really well through the visuals. And like I said also before, all of the intense moments, literally one twist after another, is just communicated so brilliantly through the visuals in this movie. So in terms of comparisons, it's really interesting, as I would say Gone Girl is kind of in its own category, as it's not like your average murder mystery movie, and similarly it's not like your average psychological thriller, jilted ex-lover type storyline as well. It's kind of a lot more complicated than that, it's a lot more psychological than that, and it's a lot more clue-based than that as well. But that being said, if we are to compare something to this, then I would say A Simple Favor definitely takes a lot of inspiration from this movie and has a very similar style and storytelling mechanism to this film as well. So if we are to compare A Simple Favor to Gone Girl, I would say Gone Girl is much stronger out of the two of them. So in the end, it's revealed that Amy has been alive this whole time, and she is the one that framed and set Nick up for murder, as she felt like he was being really cold in their marriage, as he was having an affair, and as he made them leave New York and move to a new location due to money problems. So she felt justified in terms of ruining his career, ruining his life, and ruining his reputation, as she felt like she was always trying to be the cool girl in their marriage, and she felt like a part of her died because of what Nick was doing. She also pretends to get back with her ex-boyfriend, but after she sees Nick on TV, she decides to kill her ex-boyfriend and frame him for kidnapping. She then goes back to Nick and is able to clear any allegations that have been pointed towards Nick for the death of Amy, and then inseminates herself and gets pregnant and now traps Nick in this marriage. And then to top all of that off, the media then present these two as having the perfect life, having the perfect marriage, and really overcoming adversity. And it really makes you question whether or not the illusion of a perfect life is worth it, when you know you're just really unhappy and it's just such a car crash in reality. So it's just really, really interesting, as the roles are really flipped, and now Nick really feels trapped in this marriage, and your jaw is literally on the floor, as you just feel so much sympathy for this character. Like I said, there may well be a sequel one day where we can kind of see what happens next. But as far as the conclusion goes for this movie, you just feel really sorry for this character, and you just really feel uncomfortable about the situation that all of these characters are in. So overall, I'm sure you can tell that I thought Gone Girl was an absolutely brilliant movie. Literally from start to finish, you are hooked. And it's just such a gripping, thought-provoking, jaw-dropping, unbelievable movie that really makes you question whether or not the illusion of a perfect life is worth it, and to really also question about what you see is not necessarily what you get. Because on social media, for example, everyone is creating the illusion of having the perfect life and really making you question whether or not that is the truth, and actually is there a lot more darkness and a lot more sinister things going on that maybe you don't see at first glance. Also, like I said before, the media are absolutely brilliant in this movie as well, how invasive they can be, how they can completely destroy and ruin someone's life as well, which is really, really interesting. And like I said before, all of the characters, all of the things that these characters are capable of, and the impact that it has on other characters is just absolutely mind-blowing. So for all of those reasons, I have to give Gone Girl a solid 8 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.